In this economy, many families are struggling to stay within their budgets. That means we have to change the way we handle our finances, but sometimes that's easier said than done.
That's very true. A lot of times it's easier said than done. But joining us with some tips on how to live well, cover the essentials, and still plan for the future is Dr. Darla Bishop. She's a public health professor, a financial wellness coach, and a mom. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
This is one of my favorite topics.
I love talking about money.
Me too. But let's get into it, because you've developed this budgeting strategy, the magic number. Explain what it is and why most families are budgeting backwards, and what does that mean?
So we're budgeting backwards because we do it based on what our budget should look like, should be doing, where our money might be going. But really, if we actually go back and look at the receipts, pull your credit card statements, your bank statements, your Venmo and Cash App feed for the last 90 days to see where your money went and how much it truly costs you to live your life. Because it's not the rent, the utilities that throws you off. It's that, oh, right, my daughter had 3 birthday parties that which we had to bring a gift. Oh, it was time to update my tags. Oh, we had to get an oil change, right? So if you go and look back, what did we spend money on, and add that into your budget so that it's realistic, then you can follow it, because it's based on real life, not just how you want it to be.
Right.
Yep. So what are 3 easy ways that we can calculate our number, even if we're not good at math?
So we all have calculators in our pocket. Take that 3rd grade teacher who said you wouldn't have a calculator in our pocket. So you pull out exactly that, your bank statements, your credit card statements, your Venmo feed, and you add up how much money went to the different places you spent it. And then you say, okay, if I needed that much every month and I earn this much every month, either there's a gap where I need to go find that difference by either reducing my expenses or increasing my income, or I can go and get more money into the budget by taking on extra work, putting the kids to work, what have you.
All right, listen. The second part sounds good, but when it's about pulling all your statements and actually adding it all up, it can be a little anxiety inducing. So let's talk about the emotional side of money and how this method could actually reduce stress.
Absolutely. So the hardest part is actually writing it down. But once you have it written down, whether it's in a spreadsheet or good old-fashioned pen and paper, that takes some of the power away from it. Because instead of it swirling around in your head and swirling around in your heart, now it's on a piece of paper and you can do something about it.
So in the long run, it'll be less stressful than the initial doing of the math. And
because think about it, how many times have you said or heard someone say, man, if I just had so much more, if I just had more money. But what does that mean?
What does
but
that
if
mean?
you knew, if I had $150 more a month, things would be smoother. That's much easier to deal with than, why don't we just have more?
This abstract, right.
Right, no, for sure. So how do we bring kids into this conversation?
So you don't know it, but you already are. Every time you're at the store buying something, every time you're making a decision, those decisions usually have something to do with time or money. And so when they ask a question, well, Mommy, how come we can't? Daddy, how come they get this and we don't? How you handle those questions, how you talk about it, and to be positive about it. Well, today we're not here for candy and unicorns like in Madeline's Money Adventure. Today we came to the store for trash bags and light bulbs. Did we get our trash bags and light bulbs? So then it helps them focus on the goal, helping them to remember that it's important to stay focused, and you never told them, no, we can't afford that.
I like that. I like that. Speaking of, let's quickly, because we're just about out of time, tell us about the book that your daughter actually authored.
Yeah, so Madeline had this idea. She said, I want to teach other kids about money. And I said, great. What are you going to teach them? She said, remember that time we went to the store and you told me no? And I was like, where are we going with this? But then she came up with this awesome story about how other kids can use the money that comes into their lives. Because, you know, kids have money too.
Yeah. Birthday money, Christmas money, all that good stuff.
Money.
Yeah, all that good stuff. All right, she wrote a book about it. Just going places. I love it. Dr. Darla Bishop, thank you so much for being with us.